he has to do is fill in a form and tick in a checky box exercise, and my date of birth's coming into it. Well, I'm sorry. I want to know why. And I want to know exactly what I'm paying my taxes for. Maybe I could just have an administrator doing that, right? Why do I need a police officer that doesn't even know what his next? I mean, for goodness sake, I used to work in the corporate world. My help desk used to know what the escalation process was. How can a police officer say it's above my pay scale, right? I think that's just totally unacceptable. And
well, he's putting you down as a woman, isn't he?
Yeah, the mum's going to stand up. The mum's going to stand up.
So he's just trying to get out of the situation. He's trying to get out of the tension.
Yeah.
And so he just wants to do his job and get out and get away, and he's not thinking ahead. And what Zara did was, she did like what Lisa and I talked about with the piece of paper and the pencil. Like you anytime you go to a meeting, you go, 1 second, what was it you said? And everybody goes, oh, wait a minute, this is getting on a record. And that's what Zara did, was she goes, okay, so what happens the next time this happened? Officer Smith, is it? It's like, now if this happens again, you told me it's okay. It is not going to be a problem. It put the responsibility on him. And that's when he went. That's why it was an unconscious confrontation, is to say, what happens if it happens next time? And you look for him to answer. Now he can't get out of the situation. That's why.
So John, here's my problem with that. And it's nice and it's quite amusing that we have this power. Was this in the UK or in Iran, Zara?
Oh no, this was like Saturday gone.
Oh right, okay.
This was very recently.
So
you want me to put a picture of my colour?
No,
I've laid
no,
it all
no,
like
no.
across my drive. It was quite amusing.
Oh.
Little boys were driving past going,
no, but
would you like some help? I said, do you fancy bricklaying? It's still all there.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is this, that you're an intelligent woman, I'm an intelligent man. My skin colour, I have never had a bad experience with a police officer ever, even when I was getting arrested a couple of times in my youth. So the way you speak to a police officer, the way I speak to a police officer is respectful, but purposeful.
Assertive, possibly.
Purposeful.
Yeah,
and
I think you nailed it. I think you're nailing the major point here, Jonathan, is that escalation occurs with how you talk to the person. So this guy gets out of the car and comes after Lisa or comes after Kalyani. If they had talked to that guy disrespectful or made statements on him, is what I say. You shouldn't have been doing this. Yeah, he's coming through that window. So even when you got arrested, you didn't say to the cop, you shouldn't have been here. You didn't do that. But that's where this escalation occurs. So we teach these communication guidelines where you don't escalate. And then this unconscious confrontation is how you de-escalate, because your unconscious brain has all the energy. And so what happens is if you say the right thing, that person doesn't have the energy to start a fight. And I do this all the time. I'll tell you a quick story is I go to an elementary school and I walk into the classroom, and the teacher, I look around and there's one kid that's been given trouble, and I don't see him in the class, and she motions to the back. So there's a little room in the back. So he's in seclusion basically. So I walk up to her, I go, what happened? And she goes, he wouldn't wear his shoes. I told him, either put your shoes on or go back in the room. So I'm like, okay. So I walk back into my open it, and there's this big swing, this big like circle, like where you can sit on, and it's attached to the middle of the room, and you can sit on it, swing in this room and stuff. And he's kicking it. He's just sitting there kicking it. He's all upset, and he's all energized, and he's kicking this thing. And I'm trying to find a spot in the room not to get kicked by this thing swinging. So I'm sitting in the corner, and I watch him, and he's just energized. And I go, I'm waiting for him to look at me. So I just sit there, and he looks at me. I go, are you happy? Which, Zara, are you okay?